For me, being a sister of St. Joseph is just really being true to myself. And I always had this dream as I grew up that I really wanted to make a difference in this world. And being a member of this community has, I think, allowed me to do that.
We're all unique people, and that has been encouraged in our community. And yet we have a single purpose, you know, of loving relationships, of that all may be one.
That is the unity, that we're not exclusive. And Jesus loved one another not just as you want to be loved, you know, love your neighbor as yourself, but as I have loved you.
Our identity is being sisters to people. I mean, we're not nuns, we're sisters. So when we treat somebody like, you're my sister, or you're my brother, then we're living out CSJ charism.
The roots of the Sisters of St. Joseph go back to the 17th century, when a Jesuit priest in Le Puy, France, Father Jean-Pierre Médaille, founded a secret community in which committed women came together, uncloistered, to perform charitable work.
To the honor of their glorious patriarch Saint Joseph, who was all charity for Jesus and Mary, they ought to make profession of a perfect union and an unalterable charity among themselves, applying themselves on all occasions to all the works of charity and mercy toward the dear neighbor.
Médaille recognized in these women that they had been seized by the love of God. The word that was used then is acatamiento, engaged, empowered, impregnated with love. He then encouraged the sisters to give that love to others in a variety of works, all the spiritual and corporal works of mercy.
The first Sisters of St. Joseph performed any works of charity that were needed. They served the poorest and most vulnerable members of society, often women and children in need. And they supported themselves with lace making. At the dawn of the French Revolution, the single community of 6 women had grown to 153 communities throughout the region. During the Reign of Terror, religious communities were targeted for persecution. Five Sisters of St. Joseph were guillotined. Spared at the last minute was Mother St. John Fontbonne, who later provided unifying leadership for the dispersed Sisters of St. Joseph. The journey of the sisters to St. Louis, Missouri, was set in motion by a French layperson, the Countess de la Roche-Jacquelin, who wrote a letter of recommendation to Bishop Rosati of St. Louis.
D'un côté, piété, introspection.
Piety, interior recollection, self-denial, humility and prayer on the one hand, and on the other, a devotion without restriction to all works of charity.
L'esprit de la congrégation de Saint-Joseph est sans précédent.
The spirit of the congregation of St. Joseph is something without precedent. It is this poverty and this lowliness which our Lord taught, and which conquers the world.
Bishop Rosati invited the sisters to St. Louis to teach the deaf, and so in 1836, 6 sisters set off on a 49-day voyage across the ocean, leaving all they knew behind in France. The sisters found themselves in the small village of Carondelet, Missouri. The villagers were poor and the conditions were primitive, as Sister St. Protes describes in a letter.
The sisters had a log house, 2 rooms, and a little passage. Often in the morning, their beds were covered with snow through the crevices of the roof of their habitation, for the planks were not very close. When it rained, they were obliged to keep an umbrella over the cooking stove in the shed.
The following year, Sisters Celestine Pomerel and St. Jean Fournier arrived from France after studying sign language and deaf education. The sisters started teaching deaf children in 1837 and have continued this ministry ever since.
The sisters that have gone before us have given their lives to this work, and without all the efforts that had gone before us, I'm not sure we'd have all that we need to keep this program going.
Today, the Institute for the Deaf follows an oral education, teaching children to speak.
Binoculars, remember 4 syllables.
We feel that through oral communication and listening, these children can have opportunities that they might not otherwise have.
Going in. Oop. On this front. Yeah, on the front leg.
What we want to develop in our children here is to dream, to always be going forward, to always be moving towards something greater than ourselves.
Make it go down all the way.
Oh, that's like a canal or something? Okay. Yeah. So he's making a levee.
I just think that each of us has gifts, and that if we can develop those and use those, then we are really reflecting God to others, and that is, I think, our mission.
The founding of St. Joseph Institute for the Deaf was the beginning of a long history of finding the need and answering the call.
When I read about what these women did who came to the United States in 1836 and continued on to Kansas City in 1866 and on to Colorado in the 1870s and on to California in the 1880s, I look at these women and I think they were wonderful. We stand on the shoulders of our ancestors. Truly, it's an awesome opportunity.
The Sisters of St. Joseph of Carondelet saw another need in both St. Louis and Kansas City: values-based education for young women. St. Joseph's Academy for Girls was founded in 1840. St. Teresa's Academy was founded in 1866. St. Teresa's College, which eventually became Avila University, was founded in 1916, and Fontbonne University was founded in 1923. All 4 institutions are still thriving today.
It's with an education that you begin to look at the world with different lenses. And so as a consequence, you're in seeing the world differently, I think then you're called to make a difference, change that world to be better.
More institutions were founded by the sisters in the St. Louis province during the late 19th and early 20th century. Nazareth Living Center started as the first retirement home for the CSJ community and eventually became a skilled nursing and residential care facility for both sisters and lay people. The sisters also founded several hospitals and nursing homes, which are now part of Ascension Health, the largest Catholic healthcare system in the United States. The pattern was similar in each case. The Sisters of St. Joseph identified a need, provided leadership, and harnessed the energy and dedication needed to overcome obstacles. What unites these sponsored CSJ institutions is their charism.
The charism is, we talk about, probably easiest to say is right relationships. Having a healthy self-identity, being right relationship with others, and being in right relationship with God. The thing that is unique about us, or unique about our institutions, is you hear people say, well, it's when I walk in there, I'm just treated so differently. I'm treated as an individual, as a person. People really care. And to me, all it says is the charism is alive in that institution.
The sisters have been serving the dear neighbor since 1836, bringing their charism to education and healthcare ministries. Today, new needs give rise to new ministries. The Center for Women in Transition helps women like Denise, who was released from prison a year ago.
I would have been homeless. I wouldn't be right here. We wouldn't be having this conversation, for real, because I don't know where I would have been. With like a cardboard box of underwear and $7.50. Where do you go? Who do you call?
I think that's a good idea. We did pretty well.
The program provides transitional living, help finding a job, and a volunteer mentor who commits to 1 year of helping the woman get back on her feet.
And
You've got all your income
I
listed
got all
out there
my
already.
income list. We figured out my budget and how much I was making, and like it was the first time I'd ever sat down and budgeted out my money. For later on, we've set up goals like for me to, you know, learn how to get my medicine on my own, learn how to get transportation back and forth on the bus, all the things that, you know, just someone that knows nothing, you know, every little thing we could talk about.
One thing about the program I really feel good about is that people get a second and a
Second,
third
chance.
and a fourth
That's right.
chance.
And she didn't place any judgments on me. I guess it was the first time I was really ever nurtured in my life, and I think that made all the difference.
Denise now has her own home, she has a pie business, and another job during the day. Her life is back on track. Helping people like Denise is one part of the Center for Women in Transition. Compared to a national average of 68% going back to jail, among the center's women, it's less than 9%. The other part of the program is changing the legal system to something called restorative justice.
The primary criminal justice system is based on a punitive approach. In other words, punish them, put them in jail for 10 years, really without any programs that help them. And that's interpreted as punishment. And it doesn't really help to restore the person. They need support, they need encouragement, they need their self-esteem to be a healthy self-esteem. And that's not what happens in our current system.
You know you're safe, so put in the beautiful thing, the flowers you saw are the myth.
This dual goal, helping people who need help and changing systems that need changing, also underlies the ministry of Sister Jean Abbott, who runs the Survivors of Torture and War Trauma.
Our purpose is to restore trust and heal the terrible trauma, heal the wounds of torture and war. Those are two inflictions that are direct. They're not like a tornado or a tsunami. They're a direct, I mean to hurt you. And it's very powerful in the human soul.
This group of women has arrived in St. Louis after experiencing decades of war in Afghanistan.
Today I was in the hospital at Bonds and the 5 policemen came and I was very scared why they came. And then Nafisa said, no, it doesn't have anything with you, there's some fight.
We're trying to replace that degrading relationship, the relationship that enjoyed causing suffering, with a relationship that is compassionate, respectful, fosters healing, and fosters trust. I don't think without a deep sense of mission I could keep going. But one of my favorite prayers is the Francis prayer, make me an instrument of your peace, make me an instrument of your forgiveness, of your healing, make me an instrument. But if I'm an instrument, then I have to feel the healer using me. I've got to feel the healer, and I do. You know, I feel the Christ actually healing me as he heals others.
The healing mission of the Sisters of St. Joseph has given rise to a new ministry, Earth Care.
The need to save the earth, to stop the destruction, to be in relationship, not as the prime species, but to be in relation in ways that are nurturing and healing. It is a form of justice. We talk about eco-justice, justice for the earth.
St. Joseph's Woods is a 7-acre piece of land bought for the purpose of modeling this vitally needed new relationship with the earth.
I've never even seen a goat before.
Reaching out to the community is a first step.
We really kind of want to get the children to be able to appreciate the earth and the beauty and the animals and all of those small kinds of things that probably do not get taught in school. And also, a lot of the children in this area do not have a lot of things going good for them. And we have a good response, and we just dearly love these children.
You've got some bread here.
Educating the dear neighbor.
He loves bread.
Caring for the land in a new way. providing stewardship for the animals and plants. These are the immediate tasks of St. Joseph's Woods.
Basic to all of them is that we might share with as many people as will come something of a newfound reverence for earth and for nature as a way of revealing the sacred. For many people nowadays, God is not just found in churches or temples, but the sacredness of nature is a very prime scripture, could we say.
The threads have been there since the beginning. The love of the dear neighbor without distinction. Always striving to do more, to be more. Responding to need. Teaching. Healing. Advocating for change. The Sisters of St. Joseph continue to weave the threads into patterns of love and unity.